Hi, everyone. Ronnie Wald. I'm live and direct here at Stevenson Ranch, California, here at beautiful, picturesque Wildcat Field for this ball game, which will be televised. Four great cameras. Wow. Just like Friday when West Ranch came up with a walk-off victory over Hart. That uh, Hi, everyone. Sorry for that interruption. I just got a message through my headsets. Just a reminder, LivePlaySports.tv will be televising this game with a big four cameras. I think I mentioned that just a moment ago. Remember the fantastic walk-off victory West Ranch had against Hart on Friday? Televised. It looked fantastic. That same thing will be going on in just a few moments. So hope you'll join us, not only in the Valencia area, Southern California, but around the world. LivePlaySports.tv coming up in about 4 or 5 minutes. It'll be Alex Burge for the Wildcats against, checking it out, Davis Brown, who hasn't pitched for about a week, and even when he did pitch last Friday, he only put in a third of an inning of work. As for Alex Burge, he's going after victory number 7 on the season. He's already tied with Timmy Johnston for the most victories in the Foothill League. He'll be unsurpassed, on top of the heap, on top of the mountaintop if he gets a win over Saugus. A tough luck team, having lost 2 straight, and both those losses last week against a Valencia team, 1-run losses. So they're a hungry team, and they're looking to break through, they hope, on the road. But they're not particularly, again, excelling on the road. Saugus only 3-8 away from their ballpark over there across town in Saugus. As for West Ranch, atop the heap, they are 1 game ahead of Valencia, 8-1 mark in the Foothill League. So, again, it'll be West Ranch and Saugus coming up in a few moments on, again, LivePlaySports.tv. Look forward to you checking in with us then. Hi, everyone. Welcome to LivePlaySports.tv. We're starting a bit early, off the seat of our pants. This is really something. Okay. I had my back turned and the game had already started. I'm sure glad you're with us. And you would think I was drinking adult beverages, but no. Going to get straightened out right now with Alex Burge on the hill. I'm Ronnie Wald. And, of course, we'll welcome back not only our Waldcast audience, but LivePlaySports.tv. Isn't it great? 4 cameras set up here for this, again, game between West Ranch and the visitors from Saugus High School. They're known as the Centurions. They have a runner at first base right now, and at the plate is J.P. Flores, the count to him 2-2, and the left-hander right now on the hill for the Cats. One very talented junior himself, Alex Burge. B-U-R-G-E, and the offering is a bit low now. It's 3-2. The Cats adorned in that good-looking white uniform. If you're watching it on the TV broadcast, you see, again, the home squad with the white and blue hat and WR emblazoned on the front. As for Saugus, they're pretty sharp, too, a blue uniform. Runner takes off. Here's the throw from Stefanos. It ends up in center field. The runner, Nolan Kucher, on his horse, on his way to third. So just like that, before the seats are even warm here at Wildcat Field, we've got a Centurion at third base, and now they're saying he's got to head back to the previous base. In fact, all the way back over to first base. There must have been some interference or something usually reliable Christos Stefanos behind the plate throws out about 50% of the runners against him. But somebody must have stepped into his path or into his sight line, so they're going to send back Nolan Kuchar to first. A break for the Wildcats here in the early stages of this ball game. And find out now Kuchar, who reached base, is on first. Thought he had third base on the overthrow. He's going back. Flores ended up being called out, and that should bring on Chase Lindemann, the number 3 hitter here. Our apologies for starting a bit late, but they started early on us. So here we are, ready to go live. Line drive up the middle. Valdez grabs it. The quick throw to first in time for the double play. Simply scintillating has been Nico Valdez over and over again. The line drive off the bat of Chase Lindemann of Saugus, and very quickly cat-like reflexes through to first to consummate the double play. Saugus denied here in the top of the first. We head to the bottom of the first. Saugus nothing. Cats coming up.
"15 times a day he would have a fit."
Prior to brain balance, my son was very much unable to focus.
Diagnosed with ADHD or a processing problem? Discover Brain Balance. Brain Balance delivers on the promise of a better life for your child and your family.
As we went through our first month, huge things started to happen.
There was major growth in her fine motor skills.
It's been an amazing transformation.
Find real help for your struggling child. Call 800-877-5500 or visit brainbalance.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to, again, Wildcat Field. And there we get a good look at the defensive setup for the Saugus team. Denied in the first inning. A great double play started off by the Wildcat shortstop, Nico Valdez. Right now, Davis Brown on the hill. If they can bring that graphic back up between hitters, I'll get straightened out on that. They started the game 2-3 minutes early. They want to do that. And I wasn't even in my broadcast position when the first pitch went. I really thank all our listeners and viewers down the line for tolerating me. As Jovan Camacho will start things off for the Wildcats here, finding themselves off an emotional victory. A great one on Friday against Hart. High chopper. It's into right field. Base hit for Jovan. If you want to bring that graphic back up, we'll get caught up with the Saugus defensive group. There we go. Those guys in the trucks, you gotta love them. The battery, Brown and Dawson, okay? Dawson behind the plate for Saugus Centurions. Austin Scott at first, J.P. Flores, the second baseman. Lindemann at short, the first name Chase, and J.C. Choi at third base. Brandon Cruz, Nolan Kuchar, Andy Vieira, the Centurion outfield. On a Saugus team, 8-16 overall, and in fourth place in the league, 4-5. High fly ball lifted by Valdez, right center in the swirling wind. Able to pull it down, the right fielder Andy Vieira for out number 1. National Weather Service tells us the weather very seasonable, how should I say, Chamber of Commerce like day, except for the swirling wind. And we saw it in effect right there. Problem for a moment for Andy Vieira, but he hung on and hung tight and was able to squeeze it for out number 1 as Camacho was able to get back to first base. Now, here comes the heart, the meat, the center of the Wildcat order in the person of Christos Stefanos, who's done just about everything so far that he's been asked to do, the junior, as there's a quick throw over to first to check Jovan. Remember, he's got himself 9 steals this year. Stefanos finds himself one of the top hitters in the league on a team that has about I would say 3 regulars over 400. That's right. Slider from Brown misses outside. You've got the number 2 hitter, Jovan, on first. He's hitting 443. The number 4 hitter in the league, Stefanos, at the plate right now. And on deck, the number 5 hitter in the league at 418, his good buddy Will Chambers on deck. Another throw to check the runner at first. No score. Sure glad you're with us. And we just started out in this Foothill League matchup between the first place Wildcats at 8-1 against the Centurions of Saugus at 4-5. Sandwiched between them, Valencian Hart. Hit on the line to center, going back Nolan Kuchar. He's got a bead on it, and then about 15 feet in front of the wall out there, and it's a good 360 feet away, able to haul it in, out number 2. Stefanos gone, here comes Will Chambers. So not to wear you out with numbers, but the bottom line is Camacho, Jovan, the first team, because there's a couple Camachos on the team if you're not familiar with them. Will Chambers, Stefanos, heart of the lineup, all over 400, and I mean solidly over 400. Trace Eldridge continues at 500 average for Valencia. Then after that, a plethora of Wildcats, including this young man, Will Chambers. 1 homer, 14 runs batted in. Runner goes, the pitch inside, the throw in time for the out. A rare moment indeed. Will Chambers will come back up in the second. A rare moment in that throwing out the speedster Jovan Camacho. It's a very difficult task. Great throw that time on the part of Kyle Dawson. Here it is on our replay. Will step back, and here's that laser-like throw. The best in the Foothill League. Kyle Dawson and the Wildcats' Cristo Stefanos in throwing runners out. We'll be right back. There's your lineup for this, again, Saugus team. Kuchar, Flores, Lindemann, Cruz, Choi, Scott, Kyle Dawson, then comes Frazier, and the number 9 hitter, Andy Vieira, headed by Coach John Majora. John, 12 years at the helm. Only Casey Burrell has served longer, and, of course, our good friend at Hart High School served longer in the ranks as a Foothill League manager. Majora, in fact, was on the nascent staff at Valencia. They were assistant coaches. He and Casey Burrell together. They got their early tutelage then, and the rest, they say, is history. Starting off now in the second inning, no score in this ball game. It'll be Brandon Cruz, a left-handed bat, and the pitch from Burge is a little outside, 1-0. Burge, a 6-2 mark, 6 wins. That's the best in the Foothill League, along with Timmy Jostin. The 1-0, a slider that misses outside. Alex, a 3.02 ERA. This is his 9th start of the season. 41 innings of work, only second to Timmy on the staff. He's got himself a good strikeout-to-walk ratio, about 3-1. Fastball for a strike at the knee is 2-1. 24 strikeouts, only 8 walks. Alex will not overpower like Timmy Jostin, but he gets it done, again, by painting the corners and using the very much cerebral approach to pitching. Keeping the batters off balance. Up the middle, chopper, flagged by Nico. The throw in time for the out. Nico has just been, up here as a broadcaster, we're supposed to be able to give voice and explain what he does. I've been utterly speechless from what Nico's been able to do on the left side of the infield, along with Chris Gaff. Veritable vacuum cleaners over there. So Nico going out in style, so to speak, the senior, makes the play. We have one away, and here's the hitter for Saugus, J.C. Choi. Alex rocks. Here's the offering. Finds itself outside. 6-2 mark. He can break that deadlock with Timmy with a win. Timmy was able to tie him in wins thanks to that, again, dramatic victory. We keep mentioning it, but we can't forget it. Friday against Hart. And the hero of that game, Will Chambers, with a sacrifice fly, the walk-off RBI, will be starting things off, leading off for the Cats in the second inning. Burge comes right back. It's a chopper right down to the other vacuum cleaner. The throw from Chris Gaff in time for out number 2. So with the great average on the part of West Ranch, a .333 team average, and great pitching, an under 3 team ERA, how can you forget the scintillating defense? Well, that's a big part why they're 8-1 and one game ahead of their rival breathing down their necks, the Valencia Vikings. Here's Austin Scott for the Centurions. A lot of movement on that one, but it drifted outside 1-0. Alex seems to have family all over the country, and we want to make sure we acknowledge them because last week when he pitched, I made that mistake, my mistake. Didn't reach out to the family members, and we are grateful for your viewership and listenership. First on Waldcast and now LivePlaySports.tv as the offering's a strike, and right now Alex has a 1-1 count to Austin Scott. Hit the other way, chopper down to Gaff. He'll flip to first, and that's that. Well, you can blame Alex for that. He works so efficiently. I didn't have time to say hi to the family out there, but they know I'm sending out the salutation anyway. Alex, so far in this ball game, he's pitched to the minimum, 6 hitters to the plate, and after 1.5, no score. West Ranch and Saugus, we'll be right back.
Turning in the grain again, the bells began to chime. Time, she says, there's no turning back.
You can pass down a Subaru Forester.
She's all yours.
But you get to keep the memories.
Love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Brody, before brain balance, struggled in a lot of ways.
Brianna was diagnosed with visual and auditory processing disorder and dyslexia.
You know when your child is struggling. Discover Brain Balance. Our program delivers on the promise of a better life for your child and your entire family.
She's always reading now.
Ella is a completely different child after brain balance.
This really is the answer.
Find real help for your struggling child. Call 800-877-5500 or visit brainbalance.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to, again, Wildcat Field. Though we are near the municipality of Santa Clarita, California. Over 200,000 denizens, can you believe it? We're really an unincorporated Stevenson Ranch. What a magnificent view we have on the outfield. Now here's your West Ranch starting lineup. It's Jovan Camacho in center, followed by Nico Valdez, the shortstop, Stefanos, the catcher, Chambers, who was left there at the plate when Stefanos was thrown out last inning. He's starting things off right now in the second. He's at first. Right fielder Ryan Camacho, Austin Hernandez at second, DH Evan Galatly, Garrett Monheim in left, and the number 9 hitter Chris Gaff at third, headed by Casey Burrell in his 14th year at the helm for West Ranch, but they played varsity baseball only the last 11 years. And here's Will the Thrill Chambers, a chance to redo his at-bat, a .418 average. And as we noted, the Johnny on the spot who came up with that big fly ball, able to score Ryan Camacho and preserve the victory. What a thrilling, nail-biting win that was on Friday. This is laced into left center. It's going to be trouble, and it's going to fall. It's going to be picked up just like that by Nolan Kuchar. Will takes a wide turn at first and elects to stay right where he is. A leadoff single for Will Chambers and his hefty 418 average at first base. Look at that swing. It's a thing of beauty, and we get a good chance to get a good look at it from our fantastic center field camera. And here comes Ryan Camacho. So the two guys that benefited on Friday for the win. First, Will, sacrifice fly, RBI, and Ryan at the plate right now takes a pitch for a strike, and he was the beneficiary, ended up scoring the winning run. That's after Hart fought back and scratched back with 3 valiant runs in the top of the frame. Hit the other way, right at the second baseman. The throw to first, they consummate their own double play. That happened on the part of West Ranch with Nico Valdez an inning ago, and now, just like that, a line drive right at J.P. Flores. He flips to the first baseman, Austin Scott, and here it is on the replay. Boy, it was tagged by Ryan Camacho, hit on the screws, but right at the wrong guy. And all Will Chambers could do was try to slide back head first, but he was caught. He was a goner. So 2 down, here's Austin Hernandez, and he lifts it to left. A lazy fly ball to Brandon Cruz, and that's that. So it's settling into a swiftly moving affair and a pitching duel of sorts, but it's taken some good double plays to get us to this point. 2 complete gone, no score. That's the Wildcats and Centurions. We'll be right back.
I get so many emails from people suffering from acne. Here's just a few of them.
I've spent years being self-conscious. I've tried everything.
I never thought as an adult I would have so much difficulty with breakouts.
I turned 29 and my acne began to spiral out of control.
And here's what I want to say to all of you. There's no cure for acne, but you, just like thousands of others, can control it with Unblemished, developed by Dr. Katie Rodan and Dr. Kathy Fields. Why is Unblemished regimen so unique? This clinically tested multi-med therapy treats the entire face and stops breakouts weeks before they surface. This is why Rodan and Fields is the #1 premium acne brand in the United States. So turn your before into a happily ever after. Just have patience and stick with it. And break the cycle with Unblemished, because acne is not you.
No score in this one. West Ranch and Saugus, a Foothill League affair. Saugus trying to hang in there, finding themselves really on the low end of the totem pole when it comes to one-run games. Alex Burge begins his own 3rd inning of work, facing off against Kyle Dawson. They are 1-8 in one-run losses. I'll tell you something, it's been quite debilitating, but give credit to John Majora and the Saugus team trying to keep their head above water. High pop-up, flared foul, 1-1. In fact, it was no easier last week when they played Valencia and lost twice to the Vikings by, yeah, you got it, 1-run affairs. Kind of hard to take. Now you might be asking, what about West Ranch? They haven't been involved in many one-run games. Well, you're absolutely right on that. Pitch is low, it's 2-1. Whereas Saugus has played in 9 one-run games and only won one of them. The Cats have been involved in 5 and won 3. A ground ball just to the left, backhanded by Nico. The throw in time for the out. I'll tell you something, it's been thrilling to watch, and very few baseballs get through on that side of the diamond when it comes between Messrs, Valdez, and Gaff over there. And here's your replay, and it gets you a good idea of it's not only fielding it cleanly, but take a look at that howitzer-like right arm that Nico's developed. Remember, primarily known for his skill at second base and a much shorter throw. And Nico has really filled the shoes of a talented shortstop so far here in 2017. As right now, Mike Frazier's the hitter for the Centurions. Pitch to him inside, 1-0. Alex Burge looking for victory number 7 to continue to lead the foothill in wins. This one fouled away. As we were saying, National Weather Service tells us temperatures ranging in the 70s. Chamber of Commerce-like day, as we noted, but even more so, again, you can't excuse or forget the wind drifts that come in here to Wildcat Field. There always seem to be a factor. And right now they're swirling about 6 to 8 miles an hour and moving in a westerly direction. Usually they move left to right in an easterly direction, eastbound and down. But not so far in this ball game, as the slider down low is 2-1. Frazier has 4 doubles and 10 runs batted in, even though his average is somewhat on the low end of the scale, around 220. Anyway, we noted that Alex last pitched last Wednesday. His last outing, that was the loss to Hart on April 19th. He went 4 innings in that ball game, surrendered 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 strikeout, 2 walks. Right up the middle, and Nico couldn't get that one. It's going to be a solid base hit to center for Mike Frazier. Second hit of the ball game for Saugus. And here comes Andy Vieira. So that led that particular outing to only the second loss of the year for Alex. 6 wins and 8 decisions as Vieira checks in right now. A Saugus team hitting only .254 as a team. But a simple ground ball to Nico. Flips to Austin for 1. Back to first, offline with that throw. So the runner will be safe at first base. Austin Hernandez, the pivot man, and he was taken out pretty well there on the part of Mike Frazier. So Vieira safe on the force play, 2 down, and we head to the top of the order. Nolan Kuchar for Saugus. So we want to say hi to native Kentuckians coming out of the bluegrass country, Grandpa and Grandma Birds. They're listening in and watching it in Louisville, one of our favorite places in the United States. This is hit down the line, left side, and into the corner. It's going to be Extra Base City for 1 Nolan Kuchar. Stopping at third will be Andy Vieira on Kuchar's double. We've got Centurions at second and third right now with 2 out. So we'll see Grandpa and Grandma Burge in Louisville, how your grandson handles this situation right now. So far in this year, he showed a lot of poise and resiliency, a lot of maturity. It didn't hurt that pitching coach Jim Wagner told me he added 20 pounds since last year. As you can see, that pitcher now, there's the ball ending up in the corner. A nice piece of hitting a moment ago on the part of Kuchar. And here's the offering to J.P. Flores. It's a strike, 0-1. Alex working from a stretch to improve his control. You see JP there, 357 average. That's about 100 points higher than the team average, so he's really flourished so far this year. Roundhouse curveball finds itself outside, 1-1. I know Alex also has an uncle and aunt watching in McKinney, Texas. That's his mom's older brother, Uncle John. Hello to you. A big Texas greeting, high chopper to Gaff. The throw to first in time for the out. So my family greeting to all of you out there, including Grandma Katie in Florida. Not a bad job for your grandson, your relative, your nephew. He gets through the inning. They leave 2 after 2.5. Saugus and West Ranch, no score. Back to live action in a hurry. Evan Galatly at the plate right now to start things off for the Cats. No score, and look, he gets plunked just like that. If not on his gluteus maximus, at least there on the thigh somewhere. He'll run it off quickly. That's a good thing to do to help you forget about the pain. Evan's just been scintillating, so they take the bat out of his hands. In effect, he's been hitting .368 in limited duty. And now, just like that, here comes Garrett Monheim. Garrett's at an even 400. Yes, he's qualified long ago to enter the pantheon, so to speak, of Foothill League leaders. He's earned it. And he, along with Evan, have been a real spark plug to the team and meant a lot. West Ranch having won 3 of their last 4 ball games, and overall a 15-6 mark. They've won 15 of 21. Monheim swings away. He's very aggressive at the plate, and the count 0-1. West Ranch atop the heap, 8-1 mark. Valencia hanging in there valiantly with a 7-2. Hart at 5-4, and in 4th place these same Centurions of Saugus, 4-5. The bottom dwellers, Golden Valley 2-7, and Canyon, they're finished. Fait accompli. 1-8 record. Quick throw. Keep an eye on Evan over there. There's your standings. As you can see, West Ranch and Valencia figured to be in the race from the beginning. Hart was also figured to possibly have a chance for a Foothill League title. Well, guess what? Those top 3 so far, with 6 games to play, are right in the running. Fouled away by Garrett, 0-2. A concern from Coach Majora talking to me before the game. He said, well, right now, if the season ended, 27 teams would qualify for the CIF Division I playoffs. But guess what? 42 are allowed to qualify, can end up playing for the postseason. So with those other 15 teams, as the pitch misses, it's 1-2. What will determine their entry in the playoffs? And as Coach Majora pointed out so brilliantly, some of those teams possibly will be under 500. Davis comes back, high fly ball, deep right, going to be real trouble, over the head of the right fielder, and it one-hops the fence. Monheim continues his scintillating hitting. He's at second. Evan pulls up at third on a double from Garrett Monheim, and the Cats are in business here in the bottom of the 3rd inning with nobody out. Just like that, Coach Majora will have to go out there and confer with his pitcher. By the way, Davis Brown is 2-3, a 3.7 earned run average. He's had 24 innings of work, and the last time he pitched, a third of an inning last Friday against Valencia. So giving instructions to him right now, and the West Ranch players, the complete guys on the base pass, so to speak, Monheim and Evan, come over to confer with Brady Burrell, who's handling things at the third base coach's box, and the talented Bobby Cardamone is at the first base coach's box for West Ranch. Not only do you have a talented head coach in Casey Burrell, a very deep and talented staff as well, as right now, here comes Chris Gaff. Chris waiting, hoping, praying to get on track and be part of the hit parade for this West Ranch team, and here is a golden opportunity for him right now. He ends up first pitch swinging. He's fisted a high pop-up. Is going to remain in the infield. The shortstop is under it. That's Lindemann to make the grab for out number 1. So a pop-out on the part of Chris Gaff, and we head to the top of the order. Real trouble right now for Saugus pitcher Davis Brown because they'll have to face off against JC Jovan Camacho. Singled in the first inning, but ultimately was caught up in that double play that ended the inning near the conclusion of the first. So here's Jovan Camacho, and that graphic is right. It's not a misprint. All of a sophomore. Don't you love that moniker, that sobriquet, sophomore sensation? West Ranch has 3 of them. The Camacho brothers and Monheim in left. And right now Garrett taking a very generous lead off second. Evan off third base. Galatly the last name. and the high chopper foul down the line, and it is 0-1. I'll tell you, the clouds are out today. It was somewhat humid when the day started, but now it's cooling down really exponentially so far in this ball game. Plenty of cumulus-like clouds above us, and you would think there might be a rainstorm before the afternoon is over. But National Weather Service tells us there's a very slight chance of any precipitation. Off speed outside, 1-1. Ronnie Wald on a broadcast solo bid, so proud to bring it to you and happy that LivePlaySports.tv is back on, and it looks like they will be back for the final series of the year, the Valencia game, the one game here in a couple of weeks. There's 6 games to go, including this one. Next week, West Ranch plays Canyon. High fly ball, left center field, tracking it right now. Nolan Kuchar, he's got it, but that should be enough for Evan Galatly to come home. The throw instead goes down to third. Garrett gets into third. Evans scores, 1-0 Wildcats. So Jovan Camacho, known for keeping it on the ground, playing small ball. Well, he lifts it to center and does what he's asked to do. And what does he get? An RBI out of it. And West Ranch breaks the ice in this ball game and leads 1-0. Jovan, that was RBI number 10 on the season for Camacho. And Garrett Monheim scampered himself into third base. And now the umpire giving some direction now, making some type of motion towards the West Ranch dugout. By the way, Pat Smith, the umpire that had to leave because of heat-related issues, well, we called him before the game. They said that he suffered a minor stroke. He was not able to continue. We thought he was, but it ended up bringing an ambulance out. He went to the hospital, and that was the determination. But he's resting comfortably at home. He's watching this ball game, and we say Godspeed to him. Pitch inside to Nico Valdez, almost hit him. 2 down, 1 over. And Monheim 90 feet away from scoring the second run of the inning. And don't discount the number 2 hitter, Nico Valdez. He's number 5 in the league at 15 runs batted in. Very potent bat this year. And this one into right center. It's a base hit. Here comes Garrett. He'll prance home easily. Nico takes a wide turn. He falls down and then somehow gets his bearing, slides home, or should I say back to first, and as a result, he's got himself RBI number 16 on the year. You know that old baseball adage, hit them where they ain't. Well, this one, the outstretched glove was maybe, I would say, 7-8 inches away, and placed it in the right place at the right time for Nico Valdez. He's at first. Cats up by 2. Here's Stefanos. Leading the squad with his 2 home runs and 23 runs batted in. He's first pitch swinging. Shallow fly ball to right. Vieira coming up, looking up into that cloud bank and able to squeeze it for out number 3. But the damage's been done. No doubt about it. The Cats get 2, and now after 3 complete, Wildcats 2, Saugus nothing. You're watching LivePlaySports.tv, and we'll be right back. We swing now into the fourth inning of play. Welcome back, everyone. Lindemann, Cruz, and Choi, the heart, the meat, the center of the Centurion lineup. But it's a different vibe out there because Alex Burge is now staked to a 2-0 lead. Pitch down low in the dirt, pops high into the air, volleyball style, and it's 1-0. Lindemann, he's the one that grounded into that double play, remember? Back there in the first inning. In fact, it was a line drive and the quick throw on the part of Valdez to nail Kuchar at first. Fisted, high chopper, grabbed over there by the first baseman, making a great play. Will Chambers able to go to first for out number 1. So Will Chambers moving this time to his left, and there's that great smile on the part of Will. You can't miss it. Always brings a nice, again, outstanding attitude to the field. I wonder if he acts like he's surprised he made the play, but he did it beautifully. It's not easy to move to your left, then turn back towards the base, but he did it fluently. And now the offering is a ball right now to Brandon Cruz. Brandon, a 400 hitter, leading them with the 17 RBIs. Outfield pretty much straight away when you're talking about a hitter of the caliber of Brandon Cruz. They've already played a Foothill League game before the spring break, these two teams. Comes up with a fastball that's low and inside, 2-0. It turned out to be an 8-3 win for West Ranch at Saugus back there on March 23rd. Remember the 5-run inning that made the difference in the ballgame? Top of the 6th, 5-run inning dashed the Saugus hopes in that particular game. Cruz fouls it off down the line, left side, 2-1. Brandon was pitching that day against Timmy Johnston. He ended up getting the loss. Timmy picked up the win in that particular ball game. That one, a little bit overthrown that time on the part of Alex, so he's found himself in a hole right now against Brandon Cruz, 3-1. 1 out. Here in the top of the 4th, 2-0 Wildcats. A high chopper, this time fielded over there by a Centurion, guarding things. There is activity right now in the Saugus bullpen. Connor Beaubien is down there warming up, the hard-throwing left-hander. Curveball right back at Alex. Knocks it down, recovers, and gets. He did the best thing he could possibly do. He had to throttle that fast-moving ball right at him, and he almost, in a way, knocked it down. And once he saw the prey was dead on the ground, he could pick it up and then flip to first. There's your replay. Put his body in front of it. 60 feet, 6 inches away. That's all you got. So you better have cat-like reflexes. So Cruz gone, and the first pitch to J.C. Choi is a strike, 0-1. Choi at 379. They give him a lot of room in left center field. If he hits it out there, smacks it out there, he could run forever and a day. It's like a veritable Death Valley out there as this slider is outside 1-1. Burge looking for a sign from catcher Christos Stefanos. Comes right back 1-1. That's a fastball. It's a strike at the knees, 1-2. So again, a battery of Burge and Stefanos, Chambers, Hernandez, Valdez, and Gaff around the horn this afternoon for the Cats. Burge comes right back 1-2. The fastball high. Garrett's in left. Jovan and Ryan, Camacho brothers, center and right respectively for the Wildcats. As we said, having won 3 of their last 4 ball games. Deuce is wild. Here's the 2-2. That's going to be a fly ball, and under intense pressure, Jovan Camacho going back. It's over his head. Though that was quite a blast considering the speed of Jovan, and that's going to be a stand-up double on the part of J.C. Choi for the Centurions. That's double number 7 on the year for J.C. And he scored a team-leading 18 runs along with his over 380 average. He's at second. Saugus trying to battle back. They're a hungry team, a hungry group. And the left-handed bat steps in right now of Austin Scott. Burge delivers, waved at and missed. One of the finest pitches you'll see anywhere. He fooled him completely. So all this emphasis on velocity when it comes down to where the rubber meets the road is upsetting the timing of the hitters at the plate. And Alex finds a way to do that, and he did it on that particular pitch. As for Saugus on the road, they hate to leave the Saugus area. They're only 3-8. Burge comes right back. Breaking ball misses outside, 1-1. As for West Ranch, they dearly love home cooking. They've won 8 of 9 here at Wildcat Field. Even with the Camacho brothers, West Ranch not known as speed merchants overall. If you take them away, they really take away a lot of their steals this year. That's going to be a curve for a strike. It's now 1-2. West Ranch has stolen 29 bases this year. Saugus only 17. Take away the Camacho brothers, that's half the total for West Ranch. And still, they're about half the total of Hart, the leading team in steals this year. Runner takes his lead off second. And now Burge steps off the rubber in a game of cat and mouse as he's looking directly back at J.C. Choi, the guy that got the double a moment ago. He induced a couple of ground outs to Lindemann and Cruz, and now he finds Choi at second. Austin Scott waiting at the plate. Scott is a .228 hitter. That slider misses outside, and it's 2-2. However, don't take Scott and his average lightly. He's got himself one of the team's 5 home runs and 11 runs batted in. So whatever hits he has, they've been very timely. 2-2, 2 away, 2-0 Wildcats. Burge a backwards glance of the runner and now deals. And pitch, strike 3 called. He struck him out. The look of incredulity naturally on the face of Austin Scott. He looked at the umpire. He couldn't believe it. But believe it, yep, because that's strikeout number 1 in the ballgame by one Alex Burge at the most important time when he had to, again, negate the Saugus threat. It's now 2-0 Wildcats as we head to the bottom of the 4th. We'll be right back.
Turning in the grain again, the bells began to chime. Time, she says, there's no turning back.
You can pass down a Subaru Forester. She's all yours. But you get to keep the memories.
Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Will Chambers will get another opportunity to start off an inning, followed by Ryan Camacho, and then Austin Hernandez for the Wildcats here in this coming up on the bottom of the 4th inning. 2-0 West Ranch. And a day that continues to get increasingly cloudy. You wouldn't even know that we're almost into May 2017, and particularly over last weekend when we had temperatures ranging in the low 90s. But no one's complaining out here, knowing that it soon will be in the 90s again as Chambers steps in, and Will himself has that single back there in the 2nd inning, 1 for 1. Davis Brown starting his own 4th inning of work, down 2-0, swung on and fouled away. It's 0-1 to Will. So as we said, John Majora, 12th year at the helm, third longest tenure in the Foothill League, behind Jim Ozella at Hardin, Casey Burrell at West Ranch. Swung on and missed. Will went after the high, hard one. It's 0-2. And if you're just joining us in the broadcast, we thought it was interesting and quite touching that Majora and Casey, when they were just starting out their coaching career, both were assistants on the Valencia Vikings staff. Did he commit himself on that high, hard one, looking for a determination? First place umpire said he did crack those wrists. It's a strikeout for Will Chambers. He's gone, and here comes Ryan Camacho. Both the guys went separate ways. Casey took over as head coach at Saugus for 4 years. When you think about the connections, Casey Burrell played at Hart and coached at Saugus, but took over the brand new program at West Ranch. Very few people know as much about the Foothill League as Casey Burrell, as Ryan Camacho steps in, takes the ball 1-0. On deck for the Wildcats, one Austin Hernandez. Squaring to bunt, remember the great speed, right down the second baseman, flips to first in time for the out, and give credit that time to J.P. Flores. He knew he could not transfer the ball from glove to hand, so he just kind of scooped it on over. Watch this. You know Ryan has that blazing speed, but he just pushed that bunt a little too hard, and there's J.P. with the flip over to the first baseman, Austin Scott, and we've got 2 down. So Austin Hernandez brings in this .340 average, a big 13 runs batted in. Where would West Ranch be without him? But he kind of works as a veritable third man, if you know that classic novel, in the shadows in the background. And I think he likes it that way. Anonymity. Fastball down low, and it's 2-0. But when it comes down to a timely hit or coming through in a big way, the senior Austin Hernandez is the man to have up there. Taken outside, it's 3-0. Saugus Centurions, if you look at their overall record, 8-16, that's quite troubling. But again, you can eke your way into the playoffs with what happens in the Foothill League race. Fastball for a strike, it's 3-1. Again, Majora asks the questions, and a lot of people wondering, after you get through the first 3 spots in the Foothill League, what will be the criteria from the CIF offices down there in Los Alamitos on how the at-large teams are going to get in? Now, count full to Austin, 3-2. A very perplexing question, as this is a perplexing ground ball to the shortstop, and he throws it away into the dugout area. Austin takes a wide turn, slips, and elects to go back to first base. Good move on his part. The ball seemed to careen back almost like a hockey puck, and so Austin would have been really a dead duck if he tried to go into second base. Here it is one more time. Dropped by the shortstop Lindemann, picked it up, and then hurried to throw. Austin had very little chance, as you can see on the replay, as he slipped heading for second. Now here's Evan Galatly at the plate right now. Let's see what he can do. Another one of the spark plugs coming in when the team needed him most and coming through brilliantly is Evan. The pitch down low to him, and it's 1-0. I've got Evan coming into this ball game with a big .368 average, but more important, his ratio. 7 RBIs and 24 at-bats. So his hits not only have been proficient, they've been timely. 1-0, 2 down. And with Austin Hernandez at first, the Cats up 2-0. That's going to be a slider way outside on the part of Davis Brown. Evan waiting at the plate. You can see how the wind is now rippling the uniform of the pitcher. Hit on the line to center, but right at the center fielder, Nolan Kuchar. It looked like it could be a hit, but the dying quail did not show up there. It just seemed to hang long enough for Nolan to grab it, and that's the end of the inning. They strand Austin Hernandez at first. We played 4, and it's West Ranch 2, Saugus nothing on LivePlaySports.tv. We'll be right back.
Brody, before brain balance, struggled in a lot of ways.
Brianna was diagnosed with visual and auditory processing disorder and dyslexia.
You know when your child is struggling. Discover Brain Balance. Our program delivers on the promise of a better life for your child and your entire family.
She's always reading now.
Ella is a completely different child after brain balance.
This really is the answer.
Find real help for your struggling child. Call 800-877-5500 or visit brainbalance.com.
Great shot of the fans enduring the blustery and coolish-like temperatures out here. Still a great day to watch baseball and to enjoy it, but it's more similar to like football-like weather. We just want to remind you, a program note, we'll be back on with a Wildcast.com game as we continue the series at Saugus. We end up over there at their house on Friday, 3:30 p.m. on Wildcast.com. We're grateful for Live Play Sports, again, setting up this immense equipment at immense cost to make it happen so our, again, fans and viewers can enjoy Foothill League baseball, some of the best high school baseball in America. As Burge, after an opening strike, back with a breaking ball, and it is outside 1-0. The hitter is Kyle Dawson, followed by Mike Frazier and then Andy Vieira, the bottom third of the Centurion lineup, down 2-0 to the Wildcats. Another pitch that finds itself for a strike, and it's 1-2. Wildcat field looks symmetrical, but it's anything but. The short pitch is down the right field line here, about 285 that way, 310 to left field, and a full 380 to center. Casey Burrell had the privilege of helping to lay this place out as the pitch is outside. It's 2-2. It was just too exciting for him, and he ended up leaving the Saugus coaching ranks and the helm of the Centurions to come over here and start that brand new program. Roundhouse curveball. Oh, that was a pitch, but a bit high, 3-2. It has to be challenging to face off against an Alex Burge. You have to have a lot of respect for him. He's not a one-trick pony out there. He has 3 pitches he can throw for strikes. And this is a fly ball between the Camacho brothers. Ryan is the one stepping up, and then a basket catch at the last moment. Now, back in the day, before a lot of people can remember Willie Mays, center fielder for the Giants, that's the only kind of catch he ever tried to make. But no doubt Ryan Camacho, if he had his druthers, would not have made a catch like this. He was fooled by the wind swirls and everything else. He had to charge at the last moment and then just put the basket out, being his glove, to make the catch. Can you believe it? The Camacho brothers are still learning, and now Mike Frazier at the plate, and he ends up getting hit by the pitch. Mike Frazier will take first base. So Dawson, the fly out to right, and just like that, Frazier, the DH for Saugus, gets plunked. Runner at first, and Andy Vieira steps in there. Andy, their right fielder, squares to bunt. Big lead taken by Frazier at first, and still it remains 2-0 Wildcats. Foothill League action, among the best anywhere, and as Casey Burrell says, Division I CIF Southern Section, possibly the finest high-quality division in high school baseball in America. That's Casey talking. He knows his stuff. Pitch taken inside, 1-1. And Casey knows the Foothill, as we noted, but also was an All-American catcher at USC himself. 1-1, 1 down. Centurion at first. Quick throw to check him over to Will Chambers. Now, Old Glory on his staff and left, moving at a more rapid rate right to left. And as Casey Burrell always has told us about that, that's rare indeed. Usually it's blowing the other way, making right field a very tantalizing prospect if you're a left-handed hitter. Swung on and missed. Alex shows the heater that time. Uncle Charlie at work, and a high hard one he couldn't catch up to, and now ahead in the count to Vieira, 1-2. Runner takes his lead off first. The left-hander deals with an offering that's inside and tight. Ranked number 12 in Division I, West Ranch. Remember, before the year when it started, they were number 11. They're 8-1 in their league. How did they fall back one notch? But go give them a call in Los Alamitos. I'm sure they'll love to hear from you. And just ask them their logic and reasoning. I've done it many times. How do you lose, again, placement on a list like that? How do you start off the year number 11 and now you've fallen back one when you've won 15 of 21 games? Burge rocks and fires away. High pop-up right side out of play. As for Saugus, they're another kettle of fish. They're number 39 ranked in D1. Hey, Saugus is a frustrated team. They were 9-6 in league last year and didn't even make the playoffs. A little ground ball to the right of Nico. All he could do was flag it, spear it, and he had no play, no throw. The speedy Vieira able to get the infield hit. Now you've got Saugus players at first and second, and we head to the top of the order with one down, Nolan Kuchar. So all the balls that Nico's able to get to, that one he just knew that he had no chance throwing out Andy Vieira. So he held on to the baseball. He'll have to deal with Kuchar now, who's the hottest of the Centurions this afternoon. He's 2 for 2. That's going to be a slider outside, 1-0. May be able to hear in our microphone. We're on our perch, our catbird seat, high above the action with our, again, tremendous view of the field, but you may be able to hear the wind buffeting against my microphone right now. It's really picking up. Now it's upwards of 12 to 15 miles an hour. Swung on and missed. What great placement on a pitch on the part of the magician, Alex Burge. You've heard of Penn and Teller in Las Vegas. Soon you'll see in the marquee lights Alex Burge. What a magician, and what a pitch that time. Truly fooling the hitter at the plate, Nolan Kuchar. Here's the 1-1 offering. Oh, umpire, come on. Even I had to get a little angry over that one. 2-1, one away. But we have our umpire friend, Pat Smith, who ended up having to leave the ball game on Friday, heat-related issues. Pat, if you were out here now with the cool temperatures, you would have made it through here problem-free. It's 85 degrees temperature, but a lot hotter down there on the field on Friday. Triple digits. That's going to be a pitch, and it's going to be taken for ball 3, 3-1. So Burge really growing into the stuff of a adult pitcher, and the 20 pounds he added from last year, and now finding himself as a junior, the baptism by fire, going through it right now. Runners at first and second, holding on to his slim 2-0 lead. Fastball just hit to the right of Austin, flips to second for one, back to first. It's a double play. 4-6-3 variety, beautifully consummated on the part of West Ranch. And that's what we talk about, the pitcher's best friend. First off, Alex able to induce the hitter with a simple ground ball. Austin Hernandez working in simpatico. Here's the flip to Nico Valdez. Wow, the runner came in hard to Nico, and he was undaunted. He got the throw off beautifully. And on the waiting end, the receiving end, Will Chambers. It remains 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the fifth. We'll be right back.
turning in the grain again. The bells begin to chime. Time, she says, there's no turning back.
You can pass down a Subaru Forester. She's all yours. But you get to keep the memories.
Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Garrett Monheim, Chris Gaff, and Jovan Camacho here for the Cats in this, the bottom of the fifth inning, 2-0 lead. Let's take a look at that double play one more time. Nico, wise enough as a senior to get out of the way of the runner, and you see the plume of dust emanating from second base, tried to take him out. Nice job on the part of Nico Valdez. Here's another camera angle, another view. Well, that was it. 4-6-3 double play. 2-0 Wildcats as we swing in the bottom of the fifth inning. Ronnie Wald, your game broadcaster, has won Garrett Monheim with that great double back there in the third inning. 1 for 1 and an average over 400. One of a quartet of Wildcats. I think the proper way to say it, a pride of cats. Quartet, whatever. 4 of them over 400, including Garrett. Pitch misses outside. We got a brand new pitcher out there. Tony Jacob taking over for Davis Brown for this, again, Centurion team. 2 lonely runs coming over in the third. That's the difference of this ball game right here at this juncture of the game, the bottom of the fifth. Jacob, a left-hander, winds and fires away with a pitch. That's a strike. It's 1-1. Breaking ball finds itself inside. It's 1-1. Check that, 1-2, pardon me. 4 innings of work on the part of Davis Brown. He got himself a lone strikeout, surrendered 4 hits and 2 runs. Another curve, but this one misses. It's 2-2. So we close the book on Davis Brown. He can't win this game. He could lose it or have nothing to do with it. Jacob winds. Here's the 2-2. A chopper foul, and it'll remain 2-2. We had great attendance Friday. The Hart fans and the West Ranch fans, it was near capacity here for that dramatic win on Friday. Another good crowd out here. Saugus folks here. And if we get a shot down that right field line, you get an idea of fans who have brought out their own chairs, their own umbrellas, enjoying the vantage point here. As Garrett swings and misses, he's gone for out number 1. So Jacob starts off in a resounding way by striking out the first Wildcat. And here's Chris Gaff. Right down that right field line where the foul pole is, there's half a dozen people down there just enjoying it. And it's a very much a park-like setting here at Wildcat Field. We're glad you're watching the ball games. We appreciate the ratings, but you got to come out here and experience it. As Gaff takes a fastball, and the scoreboard a little slow on the determination up there. I thought it was a ball, but here's Jacob comes back. Nothing on the scoreboard yet. Gaff's going to square to butt. Lays down a good one down the line. It's on this way. Here's the throw. He's safe at first. Chris Gaff, who remains again ensnared in an average that's under the Mendoza line, and he's got a lot of power, he's got a lot of capability, but he decides to try to break out of the slump by laying down a bunt. It's the last thing the third baseman Choi expected from the big guy, Chris Gaff. He bunts for a hit, puts a Wildcat at first base, and now we head to the top of the order for Jovan Camacho. There they are. Those are Saugus fans, and again, the park-like setting. It's just amazing out here. And over my shoulder here is Rattlesnake Bluff, and of course, another grassy, beautiful area. You can have a picnic out here. The pitch is down low. Here's the throw on the part of the catcher Dawson. Not in time. It's too high, and stealing second, the most unlikely guy out there, one Chris Gaff. Here it is one more time. It bounced, and then Gaff took off. So there was a moment in time, and he laid down the tag, and they say he's out. So my bad on that one. Seeing the replay, I think the umpire missed that call. I didn't see anything like the Dodger-Giant game last night when you saw, remember the Giant player clearly has leg off the bag, and the Dodger shortstop applied the tag, Seager, and they got that wrong. I'd have to say this one was wrong, but that's the way it goes as Joe Vaughn up there now with the count to him 3-0. Chris hesitated off first. The catcher Dawson dropped the baseball. Strong throw in. The throw was high, and his hands looked like they obviously were there. So no replay on the high school level, and Joe Vaughn ends up getting walked nevertheless. So let's see if he'll go out there and swipe his 10th base of the season with 2 down here in this, the bottom of the 5th, and the Cats remain up 2-0. Camacho at first, 2 away, and here comes Nico Valdez, already an RBI in this ballgame. Quick throw on the part of the catcher, Dawson. Like we say, Dawson and Stefanos. Those 2 guys throw out a higher percentage of runners against them than any other catchers in the Foothill League. Valdez flew out in the first, and then that RBI single in the third, 1 for 2. Jacob Rocks instead elects to go to first to keep Joe Vaughn honest at first base. As we said, the team's got 29 steals, 14 of them coming by the Camacho brothers. Wind buffeting our open-air broadcast position, kicking up quite a bit right now. Jacob comes right back with a fastball. He says it's a strike, and it is 1-1. Not to be undaunted, the great West Ranch softball team is playing right now. They're over there in the adjoining field, but not a lot of people have a focus on that. Everybody's eyes and ears are turned right now to the Wildcat Field diamond. And the Cats here in the bottom of the 5th up 2-0. Off speed, and it misses, and it's 2-1. 2 outs, and if they get that far, Cristo Stefanos waiting on deck. A nail-biting affair, wouldn't you say? Another heart-pounding game, 2-0. Jacob from a stretch, runner goes, pitch outside. Dawson's throw, not in time. He swipes number 10. The ball squirts away, but then able to get back to second base before it's retrieved by Lindemann is one Jovan Camacho. 30 steals on part of the team this year. Jovan's got 10 of them. So somebody call out the local sheriff's department, an act of thievery. That time on the part of Jovan Camacho. He's got a record now. No, he really doesn't. But he did steal that base beautifully against a guy that has a howitzer-like right arm, Saugus' catcher Kyle Dawson. Now a golden opportunity for Nico. The pitch is outside, ball 4. A couple of walks to Jovan and Nico, meaning here comes plate on the table. A sumptuous buffet waiting for one Cristo Stefanos, and if they get that far, Wilt Chambers on deck. Jacob entering the game in relief for Davis Brown and running into a rough patch right now. Stefanos today has been denied. Thrown out again after he reached base in the first and then flew out with a fly out to right in the third inning. 420 average coming in this one. And number 2 behind Ben Ferris of Valencia in ribbies. Only 3 behind Ben. 23 this year. A veritable power alley himself, Stefanos, pitched to him. A strike, 0-1. West Ranch has ducks on the pond right now. Runners at first and second. 2 down. And they would love insurance. By the way, his slugging average, always indicative of the great power. Number 3 in the league, Christos at .639. He needs some of that right now. Waiting at the plate. The offering finds itself outside, 1-1. Steps back in there right now. The game moving along much slower pace right now. Every pitch oh so very important. There's only 6 games left in the league season. Here's the 1-1 on the part of Jacob. Flared foul and out of play. Of course, West Ranch has to look over its shoulder at a Valencia team that's breathing down their necks. No doubt about it. Valencia at Canyon today. Hart is at Golden Valley. Now here's the skinny on this one. 1-2, 2 down. Christos waiting. Here's the offering. Roundhouse curveball. Dawson threatens a throw to first, but diving back nonetheless was Nico Valdez. Nico, the veteran, he's been through the aches and pains, the bumps and the bruises. Jacob, eyeballing his catcher right now. The 2-2, a backwards glance of Jovan. Here's the pitch. Chopper hit hard, knocked down by the third baseman, and it's not going to throw it. Why would he? That would be risky, and everybody is safe. I have a feeling they'll rule that an infield hit. It was really a tough chance for J.C. Choi. Hit hard, and it seemed to take off on Choi. He did let the ball play him for a minute, but considering the high school realm, tough chance, tough throw it would have been if he got it off. I'm still going to give him an infield single. So as a result, that loads the bases for Will the Thrill Chambers and West Ranch High School. They got their 2 plastered on the scoreboard back there in the third inning, and that score is held up in this ballgame. Alex Burge has been scintillating, working another shutout as he has previously in this year, as the pitch finds itself outside to Will Chambers. Stefanos at first. Valdez at second. Jovan Camacho at third. Will 1 for 2 in this ballgame. Will is third on the team in RBIs behind Stefanos and Valdez. One swing of the bat can place him right there, number 2 in the team. Jacob. The delivery is high. It's 2-0. Will is a switch hitter. Wow, that really gives him another dimension at the plate. And as we said, one of the quartet of 400 hitters on the team. This is a high fly ball up there in the wind drift. It's going to be trouble. It's going to be over the head of the center fielder. Here comes one to score. Here comes Nico to score. Christos to the plate. The throw is too high. He clears the bases with a double, a 3-run double from Will Chambers. It's 5-0 Wildcats. He got it up there in the jet stream. He took that nice, easy, fluid swing. I think it fooled the center fielder. It certainly fooled me. And then it just kept tracking back. It two-hopped the wall, and that was enough to bring in the trio of Wildcats. First Jovan, then Nico, and Christos came lumbering in to make it 5-0, a 3-run inning, and here comes Ryan Camacho. As we said, one swing of the bat, what a difference it would make, and now Will Chambers got 17 runs batted in. But more important to Will, he's given them the badly needed insurance as they go into the final innings against Saugus. Right now, Camacho waiting with a slider from Jacob. It's outside. It's 1-0. This is the 29th time these two teams have faced off against one another over history. And West Ranch has taken 15 of the 28 meetings. 1-0 right now to Ryan. If they do pick up this ball game, West Ranch have won 3 straight games against Saugus dating back to last year. But one game at a time, one inning at a time, one pitch at a time. Pitch into the dirt. Shows up as 2-0 on the scoreboard. So your new battery, a beleaguered one, Jacob and Dawson, Scott, Flores, Lindemann, and Choi remain in the infield right now for Saugus. Cruz in left, Kuchar in center, Vieira in right, and it was Kuchar who found a ball drifting back to the deepest part of center field there, here in Wildcat Field. Wind aided. No doubt it was in the jet stream, and Will hit it a long way. And that pitch will be a ball, and now Jacob in a real dilemma right now behind the 8 ball, finding himself, it's a 3-0 count, 2 down, and the Cats have 3 on the scoreboard. Jacob comes right back. It's an offering that's a strike, 3-1. Looks back at Will Chambers. A little chopper charging at the third baseman. The throw in time for the out. But they get the 3. The bases clearing double from Will Chambers. He head to the 6th inning, 5-0 Wildcats. We'll be right back. Three big runs on the scoreboard thanks to Will Chambers, bases clearing double. And the scoreboard doesn't lie. There you have it, 5-0 Wildcats. Cloud cover continues above us, the buffeting of the winds. And, of course, they talk about later in the afternoon as the winds kick up, it can be a real nightmare for outfielders, as it was a moment ago for Saugus' Nolan Kuchar trying to deal with that long fly to center off the bat of Chambers. Number 1 at the plate, J.P. Flores swung on and missed as Alex Burge begins his 6th inning of work. And now he's really in the driver's seat. He can put on the cruise control. Staked to the 5-0 lead. One more time, Alex, and it's hit off the end of the bat, inside out, down to Will Chambers. 1 away. 5 outs away from a West Ranch victory, and remember, it's not going to be any easier. It's been heartbreak time for Saugus with all those 1-run losses. This one much different. West Ranch has a more commanding lead, but nevertheless, we have to go into Saugus on Friday. A game we'll bring you on Waldcast as Chase Lindemann checks in right now for the Centurions. High chopper over there near the Centurion dugout, 0-1. Alex Burge, just what the doctor ordered, but unfortunately plunks him on the shoulder blade. Can't be happy about that. Lindemann will take first. I was just going to say, what a compliment Burge has been to Timmy Johnston, and a chance for him to win his 7th game. But right there, at that moment in time, he ends up hitting Chase Lindemann, and now here comes Brandon Cruz. It's never over when you have a hitter of the caliber of Brandon Cruz up there, the sophomore. That's right, a sophomore with 17 runs batted in, but hits this inside out himself. Down to Nico, the throw, and the determination from the umpire. It looks like he's going to be safe at first base. My view was obstructed by the major pillar in the way here, so let's see what the replay shows. Yep, they say he's safe at first. Time and time again, able to make that play. But at this juncture of the ball game, up 5 runs, Nico scoops it right up on the run, and the throw was targeted. But give credit where credit's due. The sophomore Brandon Cruz could really fly as well. So he gets himself an infield single. There's no error on the part of Valdez. He fielded it cleanly, did his part beautifully. And J.C. Choi, the right-handed bat, the .379 hitter, up there for the Centurions. There's only one out. And Saugus players at first and second. Burge from a stretch, rocks and fires away. A little ground ball left side out of play. Showing 0-2 on the scoreboard. I don't think so. Now that wind's kicking up and coming more in a direction towards home plate. I'm going to tell you something. Ball really took off to center, helping Will Chambers. But still a very spacious ballpark. As far as Will hit it, it may have been out of many of the ballparks in the Foothill League, including Valencia. Down low in the dirt, and he looked like, yes, he may have hit him with that pitch. J.C. Choi, or number 12 at the plate, yeah, and he ends up getting hit by the pitch. Now he's into a real dilemma right now, knowing that the bases are full of Centurions, FOC. And there you have it, 1 out on the scoreboard. The Cats have the 5-run lead, but now he's going to have to be deliberate, cautious, but also commanding in his control to deal with Austin Scott and Kyle Dawson with 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning. As you can see on our TV broadcast, you see the wind rippling Alex Burge's uniform. All right, let's see how Alex handles this one. He was working his shutout. He has 1 this year, a ground ball to Will. Will looked at second, let the runner score, and then steps on first base bag. I think he did the best thing possible right there. He was tempted, but remember, there's no force play. At that point in time, if he happened to have stepped on the bag first and then wheeled it through to second, instead he had another moment in time where he thought maybe to the plate. Now, let that run score. It's 5-1. Runners at second and third right now for Saugus. And number 20 stepping to the plate right now. The catcher, Kyle Dawson. Always a dangerous bat at the plate. He's first pitch swinging. Chopper to Nico. Sets, fires, gets. An inning that could have been a disaster worked out beautifully. Thanks to Alex Burge and thanks for the great D. The big D, and I don't mean Dallas. We're talking about the exemplary defense this year, again on the part of Nico Valdez. 5-1 Wildcats. We'll be right back. Alex Burge faced with a bases loaded, 1-out situation. Only 1 run came over for Saugus in the inning. Everyone's extremely grateful for that if they're a West Ranch fan. And there's your shot of the iconic tower at Magic Mountain. Magic Mountain Theme Park right there. And look at that magnificent view of the tortured landscape, the mountains in the distance, all part of the faulting by the San Andreas Fault, which is about a good 40 miles up the I-5 over Grapevine. It's one beautiful thing about California. The tectonic forces, the faulting has created these beautiful mountains, and also dreadful earthquakes when they hit. Another earthquake hit for West Ranch when they got 3 in the bottom of the last inning, and now here's Austin Hernandez, followed by Evan Galatly and Garrett Monheim. A chance to add to that lead. Saugus got 1, and we got a brand new pitcher out there. A very crafty left-hander, a southpaw. That's Jonathan Polanco for the Centurions. He's got a 1-1 count going right now to Austin. So it'll be interesting to see if they allow Alex Burge to come out in the final inning and close things out on the Centurion team. I really feel that Alex has done a magnificent job in this ballgame, limiting Saugus to but 1 run, as the count is 1-2 to Hernandez. And that we'll probably see Dom Eberle or maybe Brian Delgado in the 7th inning. We'll see. Waved at him, missed, dropped by the catcher, and he's going to flip to first, but that's that. So Austin ends up striking out here in this, the bottom of the 6th inning, and here's Evan Galatly. Evan growing up really in Pensacola, Florida, and has already stated a desire to become a pilot like his dad. What a great legacy to follow. And the count right now to Evan, 1-0. Sometimes his dad is listening on the transoceanic flights, listening to our broadcast, and still can concentrate on the matter at hand. Here's the next offering, breaking ball to Evan, inside and tight, 2-0. But Mr. Galatly has been with us for the last couple weeks. He hasn't been flying as much. He's been dealing with the highs and lows, the takeoff from the tarmac, so to speak, of this West Ranch team. And really at the right time to help cheer his son on. His son is now starting for West Ranch. Fastball, and Dad doesn't want to miss it. Now it ends up being ball 4, so Evan will take first base. And Garrett Monheim, the hitter for the Wildcats. Garrett found himself had a fantastic 8-game hitting streak, but that was ended last week. During that time, he was hitting .500 and moved into, again, the leadership in the Foothill League in hitting. Pitch outside, Evan takes off, and he doesn't slide. They apply the tag, and he's out. Once he chose not to slide, that was fait accompli. There's no doubt Evan was gone. 2 down, and now Garrett Monheim steps up there with nobody on the base pass. Here it is one more time. Evan just applied the brakes. He didn't slide. All right, here's the fastball to Garrett. But I can tell you one thing about Garrett Monheim. Only he and Jovan Camacho are sophomores in the top 5 of hitting in the Foothill League. This fastball is a strike. It's 1-2. I would think if you're doing that well as a sophomore, imagine your junior and senior years. The sky's got to be the limit for Garrett Monheim and the Camacho brothers. How much better can you get than Garrett's .400 average? He'll tell you, he's the first one to say, I'm still learning. Did he commit himself on that pitch? He sure did. So there's the learning curve right there. The learning curve to stay away from the curveball. He did break the wrist, and the umpire at first base said he's gone. We head to the last chance for Saugus. Hope you'll be with us. 7th inning coming up on liveplaysports.tv. And, of course, West Ranch up 5-1.
15 times a day he would have a fit.
Prior to brain balance, my son was very much unable to focus.
Diagnosed with ADHD or a processing problem? Discover Brain Balance. Brain Balance delivers on the promise of a better life for your child and your family.
As we went through our first month, huge things started to happen.
There was major growth in her fine motor skills.
It's been an amazing transformation.
Find real help for your struggling child. Call 800-877-5500 or visit brainbalance.com.
We swing now to the 7th inning of play. Welcome back, everyone. With West Ranch now poised for what they hope will be their 4th victory in the last 5 ball games and increase their record to a league-leading 9-1 in the Foothill. And they bring in the relief pitcher as we guessed it would be. The very talented guy that's leading the team with the 5 saves, one Dom Eberly, to try to ensure the victory for the superlative job one Alex Burge did in this ballgame. And if his relatives are listening in around America, you can be very proud of the effort again on the part of Alex Burge. A phenomenal outing, 6 innings pitched, a 6-hitter, 1 strikeouts, no walks. Only allowed the 1 Saugus run, as now Mike Frazier will check in. It's a righty versus lefty matchup, so the advantage goes to the hitter, and Dom can really bring it, if you want to use baseball parlance, and that pitch is a strike. Keep a good close eye on the 60 feet 6 inches, leaving Eberle's hands, because that thing's a blur. Here's the 1-0. Reaching back and getting the strike. It's 0-2. Frazier a single hit in this ball game, and he was hit by a pitch. On the negative side, the only thing I can see that, again, Alex Burge will have to think about, he did hit 3 Saugus hitters in this ball game, but otherwise, he got through scotch-free. The pitch over for a strike. It's 1-2. On deck, Andy Vieira. Then we head to the top of the lineup for Saugus in Nolan Kuchar. Just passing the 2-hour and 30 mark in this ball game. 1-2. Laced into left field. It's going to be a base hit on the part of Mike Frazier. 7th hit of the ball game for Saugus, and here comes Andy Vieira. They're having a post-game party, a get-together. They're going to watch the video of this broadcast. It's coming up at Vincenzo's over there near the I-5 and Lyons Avenue. That'll be going on tonight. Pizza, frivolity, and videotape. But, of course, there'll be a lot more, how should I say, jovial, jocular group if they can get the victory, hold on, and ensure it. And that's Eberle's pitch now as a ball to Andy Vieira inside. Talking about playing shallow and really shaded to right center, and I'm talking about center fielder Jovan Camacho. Fastball misses, 2-0. Eberle, 1-2 mark, a 4.4 ERA. This is his 11th game, just to show you how valuable he is. 11 of the 21 games he's been featured in. That fastball is a strike at the knees. It's 2-1. But what stands out again, like a sore thumb, but in a positive way, is the 5 big saves on the part of Dom Eberle. Runner takes his lead off first. A moment ago, Mike Frazier ended up with a single. Quick throw from Juan Cristo Stefanos. And with that great arm, made it close at first base. Frazier had to dive back. If you're just joining us, Wildcats plunking on the runs, 2 in the third, 3 more in the fifth, and now a single into left center field. A couple of singles here in the 7th inning for Frazier and Vieira, and the Saugus team remains alive. They're not ready to go on life supports yet. There's still a flicker on the EKG for this Centurion team. Now you come to the guys that really are the money players, and Nolan Kuchar in the 295 average, and he's also hotter than a piston. 295 and 2 for 2 in this game. The fastball up high, want to know. Nolan among Saugus team that's only hitting around 250 as a team. Nolan is boilerplate hot. That's going to be a slider that's outside 2-0. Eberle does not have to do it all on his own. Let his defense work behind him. He's got that great velocity. He can blow hitters away, but he's got the comfort zone going. Even if surrendered, again, a possible home run, he's still ahead in this ballgame. The fastball down is at the knees for a strike. Great pitch that time, and it's 2-1. Kuchar represents the tying run at the plate no matter what. Still, Jovan plays extremely shallow in center field. That's going to be an offering that misses. It's 3-1. Nobody out. We're here in the top of the 7th. And Dom Eberle is making it interesting. Remember, he has to finish the game 3 runs ahead or fewer to get the save. Comes right back, and this is hit down the left field line. It's going to be real trouble. It's in the corner. Garrett Monheim goes after it. One Centurion comes in to score. A second one is held up at third. The ball slips away and ends up getting backed up by Stefanos. That was a double on the part of Kuchar. It ends up being an RBI. 5-2 West Ranch. And J.P. Flores stepping up there. And just like that, Nico Valdez needs to go up there for a moment and take a moment in time and confer with Dom Eberle up there. A single right now would make it a very interesting affair, wouldn't you say? It would drive in 2 and make it 5-4. J.P. Flores at the plate is a very hungry hitter. 0 for 3 in this ballgame. Flores is a .357 hitter. So if any hitter is due, it would be J.P. And now Ryan Lindgreen needs to make that long, laborious walk out to the hill and confer right now with Dom Eberle. Yet to register an out in the inning, 1 run over, and a couple runners on base, second and third in scoring position for this Saugus team. So again, a couple of program notes. We're back on Friday, completing the Saugus series. 3 games played between the 2 teams in the Foothill League. One of those games played before the spring break, and the other 2 in consecutive fashion, back-to-back, Wednesday and Friday. And this week we've got Saugus. Next week, Canyons. Then we wrap up the Foothill League schedule against, yes, the Valencia Vikings. It can't get any sweeter than that, right? Number 2 is coming to the plate, left-handed bat. It's Hewitt Grissom, the sophomore. And Hewitt finds himself with a strike, 0-1. And that's, again, just what the doctor ordered, because he's got to get those first pitch strikes and get dominance and, again, put himself in a position for the other pitches in his sequence. So he's got it right now, ahead in the count to Hewitt, 0-1. This is laced to left field, coming up quickly. Monheim makes the grab. Here's the runner to the plate. No. What an arm on the part of Garrett Monheim, and the runner will have to stay at third. Well, now we talked about Garrett Monheim and his, again, plethora of talents, and there's your replay. And the fans in attendance, you'll have to watch it tonight at Vincenzo's Pizza Parlor. But look at this chuck on the part of Garrett Monheim. Whoa! We got another Puig, and he's out there in left for the Wildcats. What a, again, rifle arm. I'm just letting the fans know when they go to Vincenzo's tonight to keep an eye on that replay. That was a gem. So Flores is gone, one down, and here it comes the number 3 hitter in the order, Chase Lindemann. Chase 0 for 2 this afternoon. Dom comes to the plate. It's going to be a fly ball to center. Going back is one, Jovan Camacho makes the grab. Runner comes to the plate. Here's the throw down to third, and it's overthrown. A runner comes to plate quickly to score on that fly ball, making it 5-4, and it didn't have to happen. Center fielder Jovan Camacho knew there was no chance to throw out the runner at the plate. Would have been 2 outs. And then you would have had just a runner at third. But the throw came into Chris Gaff. Instead of explaining it, you'll see it very vividly here on the replay. Fine arm on the part of Jovan, but it just slipped away from Gaff. Unusual for him on that one, as it ended up in the dugout area. As a result, that runner, their plume of dust, had the golden opportunity to score 2 runs on that sacrifice fly. It didn't have to be that way. And now it's made it extremely interesting as Brandon Cruz, of all people, comes to the plate. And Dom Eberle going to do all he can to shut the door on him. Fortunately for West Ranch, nobody's left on. But Cruz can do enough damage himself. 1 homer, 17 runs batted in, and the pitch is a strike. It's 0-1. He brings in one of the best slugging averages in the foothill at .514. 0-1, 2 down. 5-4 West Ranch. They know how to make it interesting, don't they? The slider outside, it's 1-1. If you remember, Brandon, along with another Saugus pitcher, were the ones that had the sky fall in on them in that game last month back there at Saugus, the 5-run inning. Boy, would Brandon like to have a comeuppance right now and come back and make up for that dreadful moment. 1-1. Dom comes back himself, and it's going to be a high pop-up fly ball about a mile high. It's Jovan in center to grab it for out number 3. And by the hair of their chinny chin chin, West Ranch holds on with a 1-run victory, and unfortunately for Saugus, another 1-run loss this year. Saugus is 1-9 in 1-run affairs. A 5-4 win for the Cats. Here's the final flyout. Just got a little under it. And Jovan, that's his piece of turf out there, was able to make the grab for the out. All right, for West Ranch to win it, they're now 16-6 and 9-1 in the league, no matter what happens in the Valencia game today, as Valencia plays Canyon. Even if the Vikings get the W, West Ranch still atop the heap in the league. As we said, they've won 9 of 10, 9-1 in the league. As for Saugus, they fall to 8-17 overall and 4-6 in league action. Alex Burge and Dom Eberle. Burge gets the win. He's number 1 again, once again, in the Foothill League with 7 big wins and getting his 6th save of the year. Though he made it tenuous, he gave me some heart palpitations, but we hung on. Dom Eberle with the save in a ball game that went 2 hours, 42 minutes here at Wildcat Field. As for, again, Saugus, they had Brown, Jacob, and Polanco. All right, just a program note. Don't forget Friday, we're back on. No, again, extensive television, no fancy camera work, but we're grateful to LivePlaySports.tv for providing it. But now we're back to Waldcast.com, 3:30 p.m. at Saugus as the Cats take on the Centurions. We'll look forward to that broadcast. And, of course, as we said, in the future, next week, the 2 games, Canyons, and then wrap up the Foothill League race, and what a doozy it'll be. That'll be the last 2 games of the year against rival Valencia Vikings. And I believe what I heard from LivePlaySports.tv, they'll be back for that Valencia game right here at Wildcat Field. So Alex Burge, Congratulations to him, his 7th victory. The Cats get the win over Saugus. They'll be facing off against the Centurions, and that's when we'll talk to you again on Waldcast come Friday at 3:30. Again, the Cats, a nail-biter, a 5-4 win over Saugus. We'll talk to you again Friday on the Waldcast.com network. Ronnie Wald here, and so long for now.